Thus, Bane may not have the abilities or the chance to perform planetary destruction feats in line with the most powerful Sith Lords in history, but he certainly is one of the most powerful and skilled Force user as combatant. As soon as he learned basic Force skills of Force Lightning, Bane is able to summon a lightning skill with ease and use telekinesis, performing powerful strikes that shatter the bodies of lightsaber-proof beasts and crushing stone slabs that is empowered by Sith magic, on par with the Sith magic of Exar Kun and Freedom Nad. Far before his prime, Bane is able to tanking the blast from 6 heavy generators and bombs and protecting himself from any harm. Bane is also able to fight toe-to-toe with the 9 prime Darth Vader. This same Darth Vader who is able to tank the Force Storm of Brotherhood of Darkness and the Force Storms caused by the Sword Bomb. Both is able to ravage the surface of Rusan when she was just 11 years old. Bane's Force Lightning is able to kill flying beasts that are blast-proof to heavy guns with relative ease, and penetrate his own obelisk armor completely, although the latter may be amped by Jedi's reflective shield. Bane is also so skilled in Force Lightning that he creates a shield of lightning that protects himself from Xana's blade, a remarkable achievement showing exactly how skilled he is performing Force-like abilities in combat. He can also use Force Lightning to absorb blasts. His Force Wave is able to completely shatter the Temple of Rakata and vaporize his enemy, and this is him far from his prime. He is able to overpower the Holocron of Death and Derdu, which is powerful enough to damage several hyperspace tunnels, and he is also able to perform Force abilities of Death Field, combined with his battle skills to consume the life energy of large number of enemies in his prime. Although he is amped by the power of the temple, it is most likely that he knows the technique and is able to perform it in a smaller scale. Bane is also able to use Tutuminis to deflect blasts, enhancing them and send lightning back to his enemies. And he is also able to use Force Screams to manifest a storm of energy to crush Darth Vader's spell of madness and her Force shield at the same time. Darth Sidious is a master of Force Lightning and related techniques, as he uses Force Lightning more often than using lightsaber. Many may argue his lightning never gives out a deadly effect. This is both true and false, for when he lashes out at Yoda and Luke, he was not using his full power, and when he did that to Windu, an Imperial officer going against his reign, he is able to bend the blade of Windu's lightning and turning his enemies to burning corpse. His presence in the Force itself is able to cause storm lightning in Coruscant. His Force Lightning can do damage to entire building structures and still makes Yoda's Tutuminis. His feat in telekinesis is also remarkable, being able to rise a superstar destroyer and erase human beings' memory on a planetary scale. He is also capable of Force Drain to consume the Force energy of an entire planet. Sidious have also learned the skill Force Maelstrom invented by Darth Malgus, and by the time of Dark Empire, he is also able to use Force Storm to create Worm Storm hole, breaking time and space to transfer someone through hyperspace and destroying an entire fleet of New Republic ships. However, he did not use this great technique in high-speed combat, for it is unable to size layer in the flagship of Eclipso. He is also shown not to use Force Maelstrom, a far more practical technique than the Force Storm, for it could create a shield while generating attacks outside of this safe space. He cannot unleash Force Storm directly on the Skywalker twins. This is because when they create a force barrier to stop his energy, the effect immediately bursts out to the flagship and kills him instantly, which means he has no ways of directing this great sum of energy to an individual level in individual battle. His feat in Force Drain is also supported by decades long of preparation and rituals. also a technique unable to perform on battlefield. At the first sight, Sidious seemed to have more sheer power at his disposal than Darth Bane, which is true to a degree. As I have said, Sidious' planetary technique feats cannot be used on an individual level, but he does have more dark-side energy at his disposal after 1,000 years of rule of two lineage. Sidious is easily caught off guard and unable to apply his force technique when his enemies caught him off guard. When he was forced into a dilemma by Luke or Mace Windu, he cannot use force attacks to gain more time and space, while Bane have done several times using force attack on several Jedi while in the middle of a heating lightsaber duel. Bane's skills like Death Field and Lightning Barrier is far more practical in battle, and Sidious' own dark side energy could be used to perform these techniques. I will not say Sidious' lightning is weaker than that of Bane's, but Bane certainly have more skills in using it and destroying force-enhanced barriers of ancient time. Bane also have a more advanced force screen skill to manifest lightning and destroying magical spell, while Sidious can only freeze Jedi Master for a short time without harming them directly. Darth Bane gets the edge as a force wielder. Verdict: the battle between Darth Bane and Darth Sidious will definitely not be quick, for Bane being the most powerful and experienced of his time, and Sidious being the incarnation of dark side of his era. Concerning both of their habits, Bane and Sidious will engage in lightsaber dueling first, and Sidious will likely lash out at Bane with the full might of his attack, trying to end the fight as quick as possible. If his force abilities can have any effect on Bane, it will be limited, for it is nothing comparing to the poison and Xana's spell of madness, and Bane will use his perfect defense technique to hold out Sidious for a moment, and when he understands the shortcomings of his enemies, he will be able to strike back and break the pace of Sidious' attack with relative ease. Since the hopeless situation of Bane's defense will likely have Sidious more rely on attack and give in to his dark side tendencies rather than analyzing the situation. When Bane's attack is in full power, whether Bane uses force techniques or not, Sidious will suffer defeat. Whether it's in the form of a lost arm or lost weapon or some broken bones, I do not know. But he will likely leave himself open in the shock of defeat, and this is the actual point that fight will differ. Bane is not Luke or Mace. He will use the instance to kill Sidious without any hesitation. But Sidious has the chance to shift to force attack to block Bane's blade. Bane will try to block the lightning and he will be successful at first, but he will not rely on defensive blade skills entirely. He can either use another hand to create a force lightning storm to attack Sidious, or he could let out a force scream to break Sidious' concentration and jump on the Emperor and kill him with lightsaber instantly. Or he can use his own lightning and Tutaminis to create an lightning barrier just like Yoda did to Sidious. This barrier will consume Sidious' lightning simultaneously while pushing forward. If Sidious pick up his lightsaber to strike the barrier, it will only send a wave to have both of them flying in opposite direction. Bane is physically more superior and he will likely recover faster and launch attack at Sidious again. And at this point, Sidious may hold off Bane with the Force Lightning again for a little while longer, until Bane uses another technique to stop him or simply waving his lightsaber to deflect a lightning storms. Sooner or later, Bane will be able to close the distance and kill Sidious, or using his technique to kill him some distance away, but the results will likely be the same. Since Bane does not have a fleet out there, Sidious will likely not be able to unleash the Force Storm even he wants to bring his enemy with him to oblivion, because Bane will not give him the chance and he will be able to kill him before he has the full time of preparation for a Force Storm. Darth Bane is the victor over the final product of his own Sith Order, a victory he will certainly view as an uttermost disappointment. Conclusion: Darth Bane and Darth Sidious have different attitude and experience in their lives, and comparing their battle capabilities may give us insight into the failure of Sith Order. Darth Bane is a Sith that constantly reminds himself of actual combat and never let hubris weaken his battle skills at any time. Darth Sidious gained his success on the basis of centuries of preparation, but he have always considered himself to be more than he actually is, and does not gain more practical combatant skill in his several duels with the best of Jedi Orders of his time. Bane destroying the Brotherhood of Darkness, freeing himself from their limitation, and creating a Sith Order that is more powerful than all the Sith Order in 1,000 years. And he have devoted himself completely to the training of his student, and expect to sacrifice himself to Xehanort as a means to the success of the Sith cause. Sidious does not want to be replaced, but he is also bound by the principle of rule of two, since he knows should Vader and Luke or Starkiller ally against him, his defeat will be inevitable. He died eventually after several times of reborn, and after his death, the legacy of rule of two was lost. In conclusion, Darth Bane is the true Sith Ari after King Adis, and Sidious is the final success and total failure of Bane's legacy.